Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes, buenos dias, or boa tarde. Thank you for joining us for another wonderful webinar. Today, we're going to Costa Rica and a very specific area, Monteverde. As you can see, I'm already there. Now we're going to meet Henry Rodriguez, the director of our amazing DMC Terranova. So, Henry, your turn.
Thank you. Hola, Dominique. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Pleasure to see you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on this series of webinars about Costa Rica, our beautiful destination. Like Dominique said, I'm Henry Rodriguez. I'm the director for Terranova DMC, a local DMC based here in Costa Rica. And we have been, we got started with a very general webinar about our country. And then we continued with very specific areas. We have already visited the Arenal volcano area, which is this amazing epicenter of the adventure in Costa Rica. And today we are going to be talking about Monteverde. Monteverde is actually a location that combines pretty well with Arenal. It's a location that is next door, let's say, with Arenal, and they combine excellent because both areas do offer a lot of different activities and things to do. So let's get started. Let's take a look of what Monteverde is all about. Let me just try to move the slide. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Monteverde, and we'll do some general comments here. As you see in the map in red, it says Monteverde, and it's quite close from the Arenal volcano area. It's part of the Guanacaste mountain range. This area has around 53,000 square kilometers. I mean, 53 square kilometers, which is only like 21 square miles. The population in Monteverde is approximately of 6,500 inhabitants, which is quite little, right? Humidity is 84%, and the UV index is about 5%. This is a very high elevation. We're talking that because of the fact that it's a tall mountain, that's why it gets the tropical cloud forest. The climate, like I said, is equatorial, but could be very hot and humid and rainy actually throughout the year. This Monteverde area is covered by clouds most of the time, and there's always some kind of a mist. It's magical. It's very beautiful because everything is green. Literally, Monteverde means green mountain or green hill. So, and it, as you could saw on my first picture, it's exactly what it is. It's a beautiful, tall hill, completely green and covered by clouds most of the time. Monteverde, it's actually the 9th county of the Punta Arenas province, which is all the province that covers the part of the Pacific coast of the country. The average temperature over there is about 24 centigrades, around 70 Fahrenheit. Average rainfall, 2,299 millimeters or 91 inches, that's per year. And actually, it doesn't rain only 66 years of the year. And some people is afraid of rain, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to go and have rain on my vacation. Well, this is the tropics. This is the tropical rainforest, and we need a lot of water to keep all this green around in the country. That's why rain it's so important. Besides, the rain drops the temperature, which makes it a lot more comfortable for most of our beautiful animals to come out and feed, because they don't like to go out when it's too hot. At least not in this part of the country. So this rain makes a cool atmosphere so they can go out, they can be active, and it's a lot easier to spot them in the wildlife. I mean, to spot them in the wild and see all this wildlife that Costa Rica is all about, and Monteverde is no excuse. Like I was telling you, Monteverde is 1,330 meters above sea level. It's very high. It's 4,363 feet above sea level, and that it's important to give you an idea of why it's always covered by clouds. Let's talk a little bit about the story of Monteverde, which is, I think, very, very interesting. Monteverde was found at the beginning of the 1950s by Quakers who came from the United States. They were against the Korean War, and they wanted to get away to a place where they didn't have to hear about this whole war thing, and they wanted to continue their lifestyle, and just live at peace and continue on with the regular daily chores. So a big family from Alabama actually decided to move. And back in 1949, they visited the country, they fell in love with Costa Rica, and they chose Monteverde because of the weather, because of the elevation, because of the fact that we didn't have an army since 1948. So that was very new back then, because no other country had similar situation, at least in the Americas. So they said, this is it. Costa Rica is the place to go. So they decided to move, and they moved. They purchased a huge piece of land there in Monteverde. They decided to leave part of that land for conservation, and they decided to continue on with their traditional dairy farms, because they brought with them some cattle heads to Monteverde. It was a very interesting story. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but it is interesting to see how a group of Quakers decided just to go somewhere else, and they found Costa Rica in the map, visit us, fell in love with the place, and all these years later, Monteverde is one of the top destinations for visitors in Costa Rica, and also is the location where we protect most of the cloud forest of Costa Rica. So I think that's quite cool, right? Talking about the ecosystem in Monteverde, this picture says it all. That's exactly what you see in Costa Rica most of the time. Yes, there's sunshine, but you see this mist going on. It's magical, and you know, you're only missing the elves and the fairies flying around in that forest. That's how magical it is. Monteverde, well, the cloud forests actually are a type of forest that, because of the elevation and because of all the humidity of the clouds, gets it's constantly wet. Actually, you see everything is very green, and the moss, there's a lot of moss covering most of the trees and everything. And if you touch that moss, actually, it's very, very wet. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful ecosystem for a lot of different bird species, and we have small mammals and even some monkeys who like to live in this kind of weather. These mossy forests also are amazing uh, for the ecosystems, because they purify the air a lot faster than other kind of forest. So Monteverde not only is a beautiful place, but also it's a place that plays a very important role in the conservation of Costa Rica and in the purification of all the air that actually we export to the world, let's say, because Costa Rica, it acts as a little kind of a lung for the planet, so we can breathe fresh air. So that's a little bit of the whole of what Monteverde is all about. I love these pictures because, you know, they speak for me. They can speak a lot better than I do actually. As you see, very big, tall trees, beautiful clouds surrounding them, and lots of things to do. How do we get to Monteverde? Well, very easy. From the San Jose airport, it only takes about 3 hours to get to Monteverde on a private land transfer. From the Liberia airport, it's approximately the same, a little bit longer perhaps, but it's approximately the same. And from Arenal, which is the place that I mentioned before that connects very well with Monteverde and combines very well with Monteverde, we have actually two ways of going from Arenal to Monteverde. One is by land. You know, you get out of the Arenal volcano, you go around the lake, and then you start getting up the hill until you reach Monteverde. The second way, which is actually quite interesting, is what we call a lake crossing. So we pick you up at the hotel in Arenal, we take you to the lake, you go on a boat, you cross the lake with beautiful views, and you have the volcano in front of you and everything. And there's an SUV waiting for you at the other side of the lake, and that SUV is going to take you up to Monteverde. You save about an hour, 45 minutes when you do this transfer, and it's a fantastic way to include an experience, not just a transfer from point A to B, but you're going to have an experience in the middle of that transfer because of the fact that you're going to be crossing this beautiful man-made lake, and you will see the volcano right next to it, and then you reach the clouds in Monteverde. Something important to mention is that there is no local airstrip in Monteverde. It is too high for the little planes that we use here in Costa Rica for local flights, so they cannot fly over there. Not only high, but also windy. So there's no local airstrip. We have done a few helicopter transfers to go to Monteverde, but what we do is that the helicopter lands and then you take a short ride from not the helipad, but the soccer field where we land. From there to the hotel, maybe about 45 minutes to get to downtown Monteverde, because in town Monteverde is way too windy for the helicopters also to land. That's important to mention. Let's talk about the hotels that we have curated for you in this amazing part of Costa Rica. First, our top seller for sure, we have Senda Monteverde. Senda Monteverde, it's actually it's a hotel that was there before. The hotel was completely 100% refurbished and became part of the Cayuga collection hotels in Costa Rica. I'm sure that some of you may be familiar with the Cayuga collection. They administer other hotels in different parts of the country, like Arenas del Mar in Manuel Antonio, like Senda Monteverde in Monteverde, like Aguas Claras in Puerto Viejo, and they have other properties in Costa Rica. They have a huge understanding of what ecology and conservation is. The president of that company, Mr. Hans Fitzer, it's one of those advocates that have fight in Costa Rica to keep Costa Rica green and to fight for conservation in the country for decades. So he is a pro and he's done amazing with this hotel. So the property used to called Sapo Dorado. Maybe some of you that have sold Costa Rica in the past, that name may ring a bell. Well, the hotel was closed for a while. The Cayuga decided to take over it. It was purchased by an individual investor who invested a lot of money in the property, and it looks completely brand new. They have different types of rooms, actually 4, and there is actually one suite, the Senda suite, that fits up to 4 adults because this suite has 2 sleeping areas, the main room and the master, and there is also some kind of a sleeping quarter next to the living space of the suite. So this is perfect for families. And then we have the other rooms, premium suites, junior suites, and superior suites, which hold up to 2 adults plus 1 or 2 kids. The hotel itself has a lot of different things to offer. They have their own private reserve, which is in the back of the hotel, so you could do self-guided experiences in that reserve. They also have different activities. They have a fire pond. Sometimes they have fire marshmallows at night. They give coffee tastings, and there are a lot of different activities to do on site the property, thanks to those that private reserve that they have in the back. This one, the one in the picture that you see below, is actually the reception of the property. And the picture that you see on top is the view from one of the suites of the hotel. As you see, completely surrounded by forest. And well, that picture was taken on a beautiful, clear, sunny day. So you see, Monteverde, it's not only about rain, of course. We go to the second option that we have in town. Of course, there are many other hotels, but like I always remind you, we do create the best in each area, so we can offer you only the best. We have Belmar Hotel. Belmar Hotel is one of the kind of all the properties in the area. They have been reinventing themselves for quite a while. They also have a few interesting things to do over there. They have their own brewery, which is very interesting. So you get to try local crafted beer that they do that they craft at the hotel. They have one of the best restaurants in town. That's always important to mention as well. So whenever we have clients staying at any other hotel in the area, we invite them to go to this restaurant at Belmar because it's really worth to try. They have two different sections. This building that you see here is the guest house, and the rooms in the back that you see on this tall kind of building you see there are what they call the chalet rooms. So different types. Actually, they do have quite a few mix of rooms. So it's not as simple as the other hotel kind to lay out, but all of the rooms have beautiful views to the cloud forest. They do have, like I said, one of the best restaurants in town, and they also have kind of a little bit of a trail section in the back of the property, like you see on those mountains in the back, where you can do hiking and also wildlife watching. All the rooms, interesting things to say is that they showcase a local crafter wooden furniture. Actually, they do have their own shop, and most of the furniture in the rooms is built in their own shop. So that's also something interesting because it's more of a local, real local flair in the country. I mean, in the area. And well, let me show you a little bit more of what the rooms are all about. As you see, there's a lot of wood. This Monteverde in general, it's this feeling of a mountain lodge with wood cabins and fireplaces and hot chocolate or a glass of wine, you choose. I'll go for both. And as you see, these rooms in particular have a lot of wood all over, and like I said, it's very important to point out that the furniture is locally made, so it's quite interesting. Beautiful views, as you can tell. You're going to have always views to the mountains, and you have this kind of mountain cabin feeling in the property, and actually in most of the properties, because that's the sense over there. Okay, and let's go to our third our third option in the area, Fonda Hotel. This hotel, it's also one of the hotels that used to be in Monteverde for a long time now. Um, it belongs to a family. It's family owned, and three brothers handle the whole operation and management of the property. They recently added their hotel to a group which is called Grupo Valverde, and they own a couple of restaurants. They own a couple of activities in the area, and also now they have the hotel. So they kind of invested a lot of money back on the property to give it a new flair and a facelift. They have 5 different types of rooms. All of them have wood inside. Let me show you the next picture. They all have wood inside, but as you saw, the buildings are quite, they're not wood outside, which is different from the other hotel that we saw. But as you can tell, there's a lot of wood all over the place. So it's a very warm, cozy, homey feeling. And again, it's this feeling of fireplaces and just having a good time at the mountain. They do have a beautiful pool area, which has a roof on it. So it's in the water. It's actually temperate. So it's very nice to have a swim and after you do hiking or to go on activities in the property. They also have a fantastic restaurant that actually has a piano on it. And it's interesting because sometimes guests, when they're having dinner or something, if someone knows how to play the piano, they are welcome to go on stage and they play a couple of songs. So it's a beautiful, very cozy family style kind of place. As you see, very big rooms. Actually, these rooms in the property are the biggest in the area. They have either two queen size beds or a king size bed and a twin bed. Um, in this hotel, they have rocks on the floors, which is also interesting and is different and it's good because actually it's a bit cold. So having rocked in the floor, it's a good addition. And these are the three hotels that we're selling the most. There's a new one, a new kid on the block that I will just introduce you very briefly, which is the Monteverde Lodge. Monteverde Lodge was, again, one of the hotels that was in Monteverde for a while, but it was recently purchased by the same owners of the Pacuare Lodge in La Barrios. They are working right now on refurbishing the property. I don't have images of it yet, but they're doing a lot. In soon, by perhaps the months of August, September, is going to be relaunched, and it's going to be beautiful because these guys, they really know what they're doing, and Dominique can back me up for that because she knows very well the Pacuare Lodge. Let's talk a little bit about the different activities that we can do in the area. Monteverde, it's again all about nature, it's all about experiences, and it combines very well, like I said before, with Arenal. So we have, for example, the beautiful Monteverde Cloud Forest or the Santa Elena Cloud Forest. These two conservation areas are very big. They have a lot of different trails with different kind of levels, for those who are used to hiking and for those who are looking for something light. So there are different levels over there. And the most amazing thing that you can see in Monteverde is actually the quetzal. This is the natural habitat for the resplendent quetzal. There are a lot of trees of what we call aguacatillo, which is a fruit that they love eating. So that's why there is such an important population of quetzals in the area. To be honest, they are not that easy to spot. Remember, they are green, and the females are green, but they don't have much more color. The males are green and they have a beautiful red, bright red chest. So it's easier to spot them, but at the same time, they have been away for a while. I mean, they're going high in the mountains, so it's a little more harder to see them nowadays. But you have the chance to see them, especially in the months of August and September, which is the time where they look for a mate, because they want to have babies. So that's a good time to go to Monteverde and see them. There is also an sky park, which is actually the same than the sky park that we have in Monteverde, I mean in Arenal, for those who saw the presentation from Arenal. And they have different activities like these tree climbing activities. They have also zip lining. They have hanging bridges like the one in the picture. So there's also a lot to see. A lot of different horseback riding activities. We have also Salvatore, which is a site where we can do a lot of different adventure activities like zip lining, like this Tarzan swing that you see in this picture in the middle. Is so much fun, especially because you have all the trees right, at your feet. And sometimes when it's cloudy, you may enter into a cloud, and then you continue on with no clouds on that from platform to platform. So it's so much fun. I really have a great time over there all the time that I visit. And there's also a couple of coffee plantations, and there's a sugar mill tour. So Monteverde is not only about adventure, it's also about culture. So here, because of the altitude, we have some coffee. Coffee needs to grow in certain altitudes. If it is too low, it won't grow, and if it is too high, it won't. So in that range, we have Monteverde over there. So you could discover a little bit more about the coffee, which is so important here in Costa Rica. And also they have a sugar mill, which it's always interesting because we used to use a lot of sugar cane for different things in the country, and sugar mills are very important to extract the juice of the sugar cane from which we make sugar, and also a black syrup that we use for hot beverages, which is so good. It's like hot chocolate, but actually sweeter. So my kind of treat. And that's it. That's what we had to for you today. This time it's it was a little shorter because I don't want to take much of your time. I know busy is booming. I mean, business is booming. Everybody's very busy, which is amazing. We are so happy for that. So we don't want to take much of the time. I just wanted to say thank you very much again for joining me and to learn about this location in Costa Rica. Watch out for the upcoming webinars. Next month, we have one that is going to be Latin America focus. So we're going to be joined with other partners from other parts of Latin America, so we can talk about our destinations in general. But when we go back to my solo series, we're going to continue on this tour around Costa Rica, and we're going to be focusing on the Guanacaste province, which is this amazing province in the north part of the country that offers not only beaches, but also beautiful dry forest and some volcanoes. So watch out for that. Stay tuned. Hopefully you join us. And Dominique, back to you.
Thank you very much, Henri. It was always fascinating, and I learn new things again, like each time. I don't know if we do have any question. Let us know. I think we have only thank you and buonissima presentation. And yeah, if you want, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to take an appointment, a personal appointment with Henri, is available on our marketing platform called letsconnect365.com. You can find immediately the agenda of Henri and take a 15 minutes with him, or with me, or with other DMCs and Hoteliers in our collection. If you have missed some of Henri's previous webinars, they're all available on our Dominique Debay Collection YouTube channel. And as you can see, and you go to our website on the webinar section, and you can register to the webinar coming soon, next week and next month. As you said, we're going to have a combination of 3 Latin American countries. So it's going to be exciting. Plus, of course, your solo webinar. So let me see if we have 2 more questions. Jess, hola to Mauricio, escribe for me. Henri, Jess is saying, hola to Mauricio, escribe from me.
Oh my God, of course, I will tell him. Of course, I didn't see it here. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worry. And Rena, buenos dias, Rena. How many nights do you suggest in Monteverde? And what will be best to combine with this destination and the best season to visit? Okay, well, maybe 2 or 3 nights will be ideal. If you're combining it with Monteverde, I mean with Arenal, which is a great combination, you can do maybe 3 nights in Arenal and 2 nights in Monteverde, so you could have enough adventure, and then you could go on to a beach location. So that's ideal. But if you're not mixing it with Arenal, and if you're focusing on the adventures in Monteverde, I would say minimum 3 nights would be ideal. Thank you. All right, I don't see any more questions, so I think we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you, Henri. You did your 30 minutes because, as you said, everyone is getting a little more busy, so we try to keep our webinar to maximum 30 minutes. So thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you to everyone, and obrigada. And it's nice to see you again. I think we even have someone from India, Dakshay. We do. Yes, we do. So hi, all the way there. So late for us, and it's wonderful to have you. We are a beautiful community, and pura vida. Hola, Kate. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us too. And I think we have so much business for Costa Rica. I'm so glad for you, for your country. So, and you do an amazing job. The feedback we have on your company are fantastic. So we are very proud to have you in our collection. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for looking into Costa Rica as an option for your clients. Be sure and rest assured that we are going to be taking good care of them. They're going to love their stay, and it's going to be a repeat client for sure. So thanks again for keeping us in mind, for keeping our destination in mind. Feel free to reach out. Look forward to be in touch. And thank you so much again, Dominique. You're the best. Oh, thank you. You're the best too. And you will be sending the recording and information to everyone, huh? Voilà. Yes, ma'am. As soon as I get off the list, I will send all the follow-up to everybody. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Pura vida. Pura vida.